Hi, I'm Gerard Wallace. I'm the co-director of the New York State Kinship Navigator, and this short educational video entitled Authorizing Medical Care for Children is about how to remotely authorize care or how to designate someone to provide medical decision-making for a child. It's part of the New York State Kinship Navigator video education series. The Kinship Navigator serves kinship caregivers. Who are they? Their grandparents, aunts and uncles, other relatives, and family friends who are raising children in their homes in the absence of a parent. Kinship caregivers may have a variety of custodial arrangements, including having a court order, like custody or guardianship, or not having an order. They can be kinship foster parents, and there are other ways they can be caring for children. For more information on custodial arrangements of kinship caregivers, check out our Legal Options for Kinship Caregivers and Kinship 101 videos on our website, www.nysnavigator.org, online education. In New York State, how many kinship children are there? There are more than 200,000 children living with kin in the state. Less than 5,000 are in kinship foster care. So you can see from that most of these families are out there on their own, and the Kinship Navigator is really their only statewide support system. Who may authorize medical care for children? In New York State, parents, of course, can authorize care. Legal guardians and legal custodians also have medical consent authority. Legal custodians were just given that authority in December 2019 in what is called a chapter law, 623 of the laws of New York, signed by the governor. Up until then, while oftentimes pediatricians would accept legal custodians of having that authority, there actually was no statutory basis for it, but now they do have that authority. Sometimes other caregivers can be authorized via designation or by statute, and we'll talk about that during the video. The topics in the video are authorizing medical care remotely when you don't want to leave your home due to the COVID-19 crisis, telemedicine, where you can bring a medical provider into your home, parental designation of parental authority, and that's how a parent can designate their authority to a third person. Standby guardianship designations were a little bit similar and a little bit different, and child welfare agency help. If you want to authorize medical care remotely, you can do that from your home if you can get the authorizing form that you usually sign in the pediatrician's office. You can sign it, fax it in, you can scan it in. Given the situation now with COVID-19, many medical providers will take verbal consent over the phone if the child is in their office. You can arrange a video call. You can use your cell phone for that or Skype. And there are certain statutes that allow relatives to consent to immunization. So if you can't get there, you could send an aunt, an uncle, or a grandparent to the office and they can consent, but that's only for immunization. That's Public Health Law 2504. And it's good to know that if a child needs emergency medical care, the medical provider is exempted from liability according to the Public Health Law. That's called the Good Samaritan Law. And of course, it makes sense that if care is needed and there's no one nearby to provide consent, they can do it if it's really important for the well-being of the child. Well, telemedicine is new, but we're learning more and more about it all the time. It's available for just about anyone, adults or children, and you can access a medical provider via Skype, Zoom, or other apps. You can call your medical office and ask them if they're offering this feature now. Many are. You can also maybe get it provided to you through an insurance company, an employer, or a low-cost plan. Similar to telemedicine, there's also telemental health, where mental health services can be provided in the same way. Parents can designate parental authority. It's General Obligations Law 1551-55, and it's Public Health Law 2164 and 2504. That's a mouthful. But what it says in those laws is that it's not used for major medical, it's for routine medical care. The parent can designate someone to go in their stead via a form. The forms are available at the Kinship Navigator website at Informal Custody. There are two types of forms, one for 30 days or less, where the parent and caregiver just sign it, and then for 31 days up to 12 months, it must be notarized by the parent and caregiver, and they have to provide more information about the children. All these forms are available on our website. Notarization via video chat has just come into being due to an executive order by the governor, 202.7, so that during the COVID-19 crisis, when folks are staying home, if you need to get a document notarized, you can do it via video with a notary. We provide this service at the Kinship Navigator, so be in touch with us if you think it could be of help to you. Now, these notarizations can be what is called a springing event. That means you can name an event that when it commences, the power comes into being. Say, for instance, if you're feeling sick and you're worried about getting too ill to get to the doctor's office, it could come into being then. There are other circumstances, you can tailor it to whatever you need. All of this is available at the Kinship Navigator website, at our COVID-19 resources, and at Informal Custody. There's another kind of designation called a Surrogates Court Procedure Act 1726 Standby Guardianship Designation. This is good not just for parents, but also for guardians and legal custodians can use it. Also, primary caretakers who cannot locate the authorized person. They can all designate someone else to be a standby guardian. There are two mechanisms for doing it. One is a petition to the surrogates court, or a writing that is witnessed that you can make and put in a drawer and use it when the time becomes necessary. The designation forms are available at the Navigator website under Caregiving Arrangements. It's important to note that the standby guardianship designation is a springing event. In the statute, it talks about administrative separation, and that mainly applies to folks who are facing deportation or detention because of their immigration status. It also covers incapacity when the parent, guardian, legal custodian, and sometimes the caretaker is unable to know what's going on around them and is essentially incapacitated. They could be in a coma and someone else needs to make decisions for a child. It covers debilitation. Debilitation is when you're too sick to provide care. You're not incapacitated in the sense that you still have your mental faculties, but you're just unable to act. And of course, death is another circumstance. All of these circumstances can invoke a standby guardianship statute. And then, pursuant to the COVID-19 epidemic, the governor signed an executive office order on April 7th saying that in the event of a COVID-19 situation, you too could be covered and use the standby guardianship designation. The bullet here reads, any parent, a legal guardian, a legal custodian, or a primary caretaker who works or volunteers in a health facility or who reasonably believes that they may otherwise be exposed to COVID-19 may designate a standby guardian by means of a written designation. That's in quotes because it's right from the executive order. It's a pretty extraordinary grant of power. So for folks in nursing homes or medical facilities or those who've been exposed to COVID-19, they can make this writing, get it witnessed, and designate someone to be a standby guardian whose powers will spring up when the event occurs. Pursuant to this order, designated guardians have the power immediately when the COVID-19 related circumstances are evoked. You can see more about this at our standby guardian form and fact sheet, COVID-19 resources, and at Informal Custody, all available at the New York State Kinship Navigator website. A last way that you can arrange for care if you're unable to is to talk to your local child welfare agency and get some help into your home via preventive services. You can request this from them, or you can use a more formal procedure to place the child temporarily in foster care called a voluntary placement agreement, or you can actually surrender the child for adoption using a voluntary surrender agreement. Lastly, there is statutes that go by the name of destitute child, and those are where a child is considered homeless, and they too have ways to place a child in foster care and get the assistance of the local agency. Well, all of this is available at the Kinship Navigator website, and you can reach us by going to the website or calling us at our 800 number, or by faxing us or on our online chat or using email. Please come and visit us and learn more about what this short video has told you. There are other Kinship Navigator videos available at the website. Visit our online education page at www.nysnavigator.org. Thank you very much and look forward to hearing from you.